Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam be'pei hagafen. L'chaim, a good night of Shabbos. This week there was a remarkable story of hope, of reunion, of rejoice in New York City. Some of you might have seen, I posted about it. But there was this child, Yosef Shapiro, he's 7 years old, and he was in a camp in Canarsie. They were in the park, and after the park, they must have gotten onto the bus, and they didn't do a head count, which is something that should never be done, obviously, but we're going to forget that point. At our camp, we always do head counts. And they get back on the bus, and they realize he's missing, and they come back to the park, and he's not there. And the Jewish community in New York pulls into full mode of rescue operation. And thousands of Jews, Chassidim, Lithuanian, Litvaks, modern Orthodox, non-observant, conservative, everyone. Thousands of people start searching for him for 6 hours. Now, in general, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I do. 10 years ago, there was a tragic story about a child in New York, Label Kletsky, his neshama should have an aliyah, who was dropped off from the bus and walked home from the corner, and someone abducted him and killed him. So you can imagine the trauma. Everyone's terrified. Now, it happened to be that New York, on Wednesday night, besides being super hot, was pouring cats and dogs. Buckets were raining. Lightning, thunder, it was horrendous weather, but that didn't deter them. And the city helped, and the Shomrim, which is the watch group of the Frum community, the Hatzalah, everyone got involved. The kid went missing from the park. Where could he be? Anyways, this one guy, a 65-year-old guy, he wasn't sure if he could go. It was raining. He ended up going, and he's searching. He's an older guy. He can't, run like the other guys. But suddenly he's walking near a swamp area. It's dark already. It's 9 o'clock, 9:20 at night. And it's near the water. And he hears someone say, Tati, Tati. And he alerts the head police and the head of the volunteers group. And hundreds of people come to that area. And they find the boy healthy and alive. Traumatized, he went under a tree to protect himself. He walked away. And he got stuck in a swamp. He couldn't walk. But they took him to Maimonides Hospital, and he went home. There's a video going around about the 1 minute when they found him and how excited they were. And then you see hundreds of volunteers in the pouring rain, dancing. And they're singing, Chazdei Hashem Kilei Samu, God's kindness that it never ceases. Kilei Cholo Rachamecha, because your compassion never ceases. And you just watch them singing and dancing in the rain, like no care, like they found their own child, celebrating this miraculous finding in a happy and safe way of this child who went lost. And I was crying when I watched the video, and I couldn't help but thinking of it. Mi cha'amcha ki Yisrael, who is like a nation, O Israel. People were ready to go, take off of work, take off of supper time with their families, vacation in the pouring rain, and roam around the streets looking for this little kid. And it's interesting because in this week's Torah portion, at the end of Parashat Shoftim, we read another law, an opposite law. What happens if in the middle of the fields between two cities, they find a dead corpse, and they measure to which city is the closest, and they find that it's no man's land, it's not closer to either city, it's the same place. And all the leaders of the both communities have to come, and they bring a sacrifice, and they ask God for forgiveness, and they say, we didn't spill this blood, it wasn't us, we didn't let him go without food, without drink, and we ask for forgiveness by Hashem. And I thought about the contrast. Here the Torah is telling us about a case where a guy is dead, where a person passes away, and the community has to come and say, although we did nothing, but we understand, we bear responsibility. Maybe he didn't have food, maybe he was lost, maybe he was hurt. And they come and they bring an atonement. And they tell God, we take no responsibility for this tragedy. We're going to be better. But it wasn't us that did it. And here, you had thousands of Jews who a little 7-year-old child, Yosef Shapiro, was lost. And they all said, yes, I take responsibility. Wow. Mi cha'amcha ki Yisrael. Who is like your people, Israel? What a way to go into Shabbos, celebrating the love, the joy of the people of Israel. May God bless each and every one of us and you. May He embrace you in His love and His countenance. On this moment, as we get ready to celebrate Shabbos and we become close to the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, so many people are vulnerable. So many people are worried about what's going to be. But we know we have the love of each other. We have community. We have friendship. We have achdut. We have unity. And when the Jewish people are united, like we saw in New York this week, nothing can break us. And we could go and say, not yadeinu lo yishavchos adam hazeh, that our hand didn't spill this blood of tragedy. No, we could say we take responsibility. We were part of the great effort to help, to care, to find, to love, to rejoice. God bless you. Have a great Shabbat. And may it be a beautiful, peaceful, loving Shabbat. Love you all, and we'll see you on the other side of it. If you're in town, we're having services tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. I know it's hot, but we have always cold water and tequila and scotch in the morning. And we're outdoors in the tent in a safe way. We have an awesome kiddush. We're celebrating the wedding of Dimitri and Esther Linkov, who got married last night. And we'll have Sheva Brachot. We'll make the blessings at Shul. So we'll have extra reason to celebrate. God bless you.